Hello viewers, welcome back to my YouTube channel Words for Wonder. In this video, we are going to discuss the difference between American English and British English. Well, technically both American English and British English are the same language. But when it comes to vocabulary, grammar, pronunciation and expressions, there lies a huge difference. So we will explore the differences in today's video. Let's first understand what do we mean by American English and British English. Well, British English is mainly spoken in England, Wales, Scotland, Northern Ireland, Australia, and some other Commonwealth countries like South Africa. Whereas American English is primarily used in the USA. It has significant influence on Canadian English and it is widely used in the Caribbean, countries like Puerto Rico, Philippines, and some other countries. For American English, the Merriam-Webster dictionary is considered to be the authoritative reference book, whereas for British English, it is the Oxford English Dictionary. First of all, we will discuss its vocabulary. What is the difference between the vocabulary of American English and British English? Discuss the housing terms. Well, Americans call it apartments, the places they live in, whereas in British English, it's called flats. Although both places refer to the same things, yet there is a big difference. But the terminology changes depending on the which side of Atlantic Ocean you are on. Let's talk about something that is really confusing. The difference between ground floor and the first floor. In American English, there is no such thing as ground floor. That means when you enter from the street, you are already on the first floor. And if you take up the stairs, you will reach the second floor. In contrast, in British English, when you enter from the street, you are on the ground floor. And if you want to reach the first floor, you need to take up stairs. So this is really confusing. In English, people use the term elevator when they move between floors. Whereas in British English, people use the term lift. Okay, let's talk about something that we all love. Yes, I'm talking about food. In American English, people call it candy, but the same thing in British English is called sweets. If you are an American and you happen to be in the UK and you are craving for something sugary, don't ask for a candy, rather ask for sweets. Let's talk about vegetables now. This thing it's called tori in Hindi. In American English, it's called zucchini. Whereas in British English, it's called courgette. This is called bangan in Hindi. In British English, it's called aubergine. Whereas in American English, it's called eggplant. Let's talk about transportation. This is where the big difference lies. In American English, people drive trucks, whereas in British English, people drive lorries. When you are filling up the tank of your vehicle, in American English, you go to a gas station. Gas stands for gasoline. And in British English, you go to a petrol station. In American English, if you want to get around, you take the subway. Whereas in British English, you either take the tube or the underground. Next up, in British English you walk on the pavements, whereas the same thing in American English is called sidewalk. Now let's talk about some everyday items. If you are in US and you need to throw something away, you throw it in the garbage can. Whereas if you are in the UK or you're using British English, you throw it in the bin. Next, if you need water and you are in the US, you are speaking American English, you turn on the faucet. Whereas in British English, you turn on the tap. If it's pitch dark outside, you need a light. In American English, you ask for a flashlight. Whereas in British English, you ask for a torch. Even the baby talk changes. In American English, people use diapers for their children. Whereas in British English, people use nappies for their children. Let's talk about clothing. In American English, people wear pants. It's a clothing item that is worn on the legs from waist to the feet. But in British English, pants refers to underwear. So if you are an American and you happen to be in the UK and you go shopping and you don't know about these terms, you are surely going to get embarrassed. So in British English, they use the term trousers for that, not pants. During winters, in American English, you wear a sweater if you want to keep warm. Whereas in British English, you wear a jumper. In rainy season, in American English, people wear rain boots. Whereas in British English, people wear Wellington boots or wellies. Going out and carrying stuff. And in American English, you need a wallet if you're a man and you need a purse if you are a woman. Whereas in British English, you need a handbag if you are a lady and you need a billfold if you are a gentleman. In American English, people call it washroom or restroom. Whereas in British English, they call it toilet or loo. Let's talk about education institutions. In the US, when you finish your high school, you go to a college. While in UK, the word college refers to the last 2 years of secondary education, secondary school education. And after completing final 2 years of secondary education, students move to university. Typically at the age of 18, they pursue graduation or post-graduation. Whereas in the US, after high school, students go to college for their higher education. That's all for today. I hope you have learned something new. If you like my content, please feel free to like, share, comment and subscribe. Thank you. Have a nice day.